A monstrous storm unleashes hell. Rain stabs the earth, winds shriek, uprooting trees. A lone flickering light glows in a decaying house, its roof groaning under the deluge. Thunder booms as Arya's desperate voice pleads over the phone. "Ethan, my roof's caving in, please." Ethan, a battle-worn single dad, clutches the phone, his daughter Mia asleep in his arms. "I can't leave her in this," he rasps, voice cracking. But Arya's faint sob, "I'm alone," pierces his heart. Guilt-ridden, he tucks Mia in, grabs his tools, and braves the storm. One choice, one night, a secret that will shatter everything. Subscribe and share. See how far kindness can go. Ethan's truck roars through the night, the storm's wrath unrelenting. Rain pelts the windshield, wipers thrashing uselessly against the flood. His knuckles whiten on the steering wheel, heart pounding as he navigates roads turned to rivers. Mia, his world, is safe for now, bundled in blankets and entrusted to a neighbor who promised to guard her like her own. But the image of her small, sleeping form lingers, tugging at him with every mile. He grips the wheel harder, the storm outside no match for the one within. Arya's trembling voice echoes in his mind. "I'm alone." He can't shake it. The crumbling house comes into view, its silhouette battered by wind and rain. A faint light spills from a shattered window, and Ethan's gut twists. Something's wrong. He slams the truck door, boots sinking into mud, and squints through the downpour. A scream pierces the chaos. On the roof, Arya clings to a jagged hole, her hands slipping as she battles the wind. She's trying to patch it, a tarp flapping uselessly in her grip. The storm doesn't care. It rips at her and she stumbles, her foot catching on a loose shingle. Time slows. She's falling, her scream swallowed by thunder as she tumbles toward the edge. Ethan sprints, heart in his throat. Mud sucks at his boots, but he pushes harder, lungs burning. The world narrows to her flailing form. In a heartbeat, he's there, arms outstretched. She crashes into him, a tangle of soaked clothes and trembling limbs. They hit the ground, his body shielding hers from the impact. For a moment, there's only the sound of their ragged breathing, rain pooling around them. She's alive. He saved her. Inside, the house groans under the storm's assault. Water drips through the ceiling, pooling on the warped floorboards. Ethan kneels beside Arya, his calloused hands gentle as he wraps her sprained ankle with a torn strip of cloth. Her face is pale, streaked with rain and dirt, but her eyes, wide and searching, lock onto his. "No one else came," she murmurs, voice barely above a whisper. Ethan's jaw tightens, his own eyes guarded, shadowed by exhaustion and something unspoken. "I almost didn't," he admits, the words heavy with truth. The moment lingers, fragile and raw. Her trembling hand brushes his as she takes the bandage and the air shifts. A spark of trust flickers between them, tentative but real. The storm rages on, but here, in this broken house, there's a quiet warmth. Ethan glances at the leaking roof, his tools still in the truck. He's here now. He'll fix it. But something nags at him. Arya's voice, soft and hesitant, carries a weight he can't place. "I've been running," she says, staring at the flickering lamp. "From everything." Her words are vague, almost deliberate, and Ethan's brow furrows. Running from what? He doesn't ask. Not yet. The mystery of her lingers, a thread left dangling in the damp air. The room falls silent save for the drip of water and the distant howl of wind. Ethan rises, his silhouette strong against the flickering light. He's made his choice, and there's work to do. But as he steps toward the door, Arya's grateful gaze follows him, and he feels the weight of something bigger than this storm. This is just the beginning. Subscribe and share with a friend to see what secret Arya's hiding, and how it changes Ethan's life forever. The storm howls outside, but inside Arya's crumbling house, A fragile warmth takes root. Ethan hammers the last nail into a makeshift patch on the roof. Rain no longer dripping through. Exhausted, he slumps by the fireplace, its crackling glow casting shadows across the room. Arya hands him a chipped mug of coffee, her bandaged ankle propped on a stool. The firelight dances in her eyes, softening the edges of her guarded expression. For the first time tonight, silence feels like an invitation, not a barrier. Ethan stares into the flames, his hands still smudged with mud. "I wasn't always like this," he says, voice low as if confessing to the fire itself. "I was an engineer once, had plans, a future. Then Mia came and my wife didn't make it." His words catch, raw and unguarded. "She died while I held our newborn daughter. I walked away from everything, my career, my dreams, to raise her. She's my whole world now." He pauses, eyes distant. "Every night I pray I've done right by her." Arya listens, her mug untouched, fingers tracing its rim. The weight of his loss settles between them, heavy but not crushing. She shifts, the firelight catching the flicker of vulnerability in her gaze. "I know what it's like to lose yourself," she says softly. "I grew up with everything, money, power, a name that opened doors, but it came with strings, expectations I couldn't meet. People saw the wealth, not me." Her voice trembles, betraying years of buried ache. "I ran from it all, came here to be invisible. I've been surrounded by people my whole life, but I've never felt more alone." The confession hangs in the air, fragile and true. Their eyes meet, not with pity, but with recognition, a shared language of scars. Ethan nods just enough to acknowledge her pain. Arya's lips curve in a faint, grateful smile, as if being truly seen for the first time has loosened something inside her. A cutscene pulls us away to the neighbor's house where Mia sleeps. Curled under a quilt, she clutches a worn, stuffed rabbit, its ear frayed from years of love. Her small face is peaceful, unaware of the storm or her father's absence. The soft rise and fall of her chest is a quiet reminder of what anchors Ethan, what pulls him through every grueling day. The stakes of his choice to help Arya tonight pulse beneath the surface. He's not just a man fixing a roof. He's a father gambling with the only thing that matters. Back by the fire, the mood shifts to something warmer, almost sacred. Ethan chuckles softly, breaking the tension. Mia would love this fire. She'd be roasting marshmallows, making a mess. Arya's laugh is small but genuine. "She sounds like trouble," she teases, and Ethan's eyes soften. "The best kind," he says. The moment feels like a bridge, built from shared truths and quiet courage. The fire pops, sending sparks upward, and the soft hum of a piano weaves through the scene, wrapping their words in tenderness. Arya leans forward, her voice earnest. "Thank you, Ethan, for coming, for this." He shrugs, uncomfortable with gratitude. "Couldn't leave you out here alone," he murmurs. But his eyes say more. Kindness is his instinct, even when it costs him. As the fire burns low, the storm seems to quiet, or maybe they've just found a way to drown it out. But Arya's earlier words, running from everything, linger, a subtle thread of mystery. Who was she before this house, this storm? And what does her past mean for Ethan and Mia? Days after the storm, the sun breaks through, casting golden light over Arya's patched-up house. Ethan pulls up, Mia bouncing in the back seat, her stuffed rabbit tucked under her arm. The air is lighter now, filled with possibility. Inside, Arya greets them with a shy smile, her ankle brace barely noticeable. Mia's eyes widen at the old piano in the corner, and before long, Arya's teaching her a clumsy rendition of Twinkle Twinkle. Giggles echo through the house, bright and unguarded. Ethan leans against the doorway, watching his daughter's joy, his own heart thawing. The afternoon unfolds like a dream, Arya and Mia bake muffins, flour dusting their noses as they laugh over lopsided creations. Mia dubs Arya her fairy godmother, and Arya's eyes shimmer with warmth. Ethan catches himself smiling, the weight of his daily grind lifting in this makeshift family moment. Arya's house, once crumbling, feels alive, filled with music, crumbs, and connection. For the first time in years, Ethan lets his guard slip, drawn to Arya's quiet strength and the way she sees Mia's spark. But the warmth frays at dinner. The table is cozy, lit by candles, with Mia chattering about her muffins. Arya, her voice gentle, asks Ethan, "If you lost Mia, who would you be?" The question lands like a blade, slicing into the raw grief he carries from his wife's death. His fork clatters against the plate. "What kind of question is that?" he snaps, eyes blazing. "You think I'm not enough for her?" Arya falters, stunned, but Ethan's pain spills over. He feels exposed, as if she's questioning the only identity that keeps him whole, being Mia's father. Without another word, he scoops up a confused Mia and storms out, the door slamming behind them. Arya stands frozen, the candlelight flickering in her wide, regretful eyes. The next morning, Ethan returns alone to retrieve his toolbox, his jaw tight with unresolved anger. The house feels colder now, the warmth of yesterday gone. As he grabs his tools, a folder slips from a shelf, spilling documents across the floor. His eyes catch a name, Arya Caldwell, CEO of Caldwell Enterprises, and a photo of her in a sleek suit, worlds away from the woman he knows. The truth hits like a punch. She's a billionaire, owner of half the state's real estate. Fury surges. He drives back, confronting her in the now empty house. "Was this a game?" he demands, voice shaking. "Play poor to toy with us? With Mia?" Arya's face crumples, rain starting to patter against the windows again. "No," she pleads, stepping closer. "I wanted someone to see me, not my name, not the empire I never chose." Her voice breaks. "The only lie was my name. My heart was real." Ethan's eyes burn with betrayal, the memory of Mia's giggles now tainted. "You let my daughter love you," he says, low and cutting, "and it was all a lie." He turns to leave, the documents clutched in his hand, as Arya calls after him, her voice lost in the growing storm. Mia's confusion lingers in a fleeting cutscene. She sits in the truck, clutching her rabbit, asking, "Why's Daddy mad?" The house stands silent behind them, its warmth replaced by a hollow ache. Rain streaks the windows, mirroring the fracture between Ethan and Arya. The sky darkens again, a new storm brewing with a vengeance. Ethan sits in his small living room, the weight of his fight with Arya pressing against his chest. Mia's quiet, too quiet, curled on the couch with her stuffed rabbit. Her usual spark is dim, her small voice asking earlier, "Why can't we see Arya?" Ethan's heart aches, but his pride holds firm. The sting of Arya's hidden identity still raw. He steps into the kitchen to make tea, hoping routine will soothe them both. Minutes later, he returns and freezes. The couch is empty, the front door ajar. Mia's gone. Panic surges like wildfire. "Mia!" Ethan's shout cracks through the house, unanswered. Her rabbit lies abandoned on the floor, a gut-punch reminder of her absence. He bolts outside, the wind already carrying the storm's first rain. "Mia!" he yells, voice swallowed by the gale. He searches the yard, the street, every shadow, his heart hammering with visions of her lost, scared, alone. The neighborhood stirs, lights flicker on, doors open. Neighbors' faces, etched with worry, grab flashlights and join the search. Their beams slice through the rain-soaked darkness, a chorus of voices calling Mia's name. The community's unity is a fleeting anchor in Ethan's spiraling fear. But it's not enough. His daughter is out there, and every second feels like a lifetime. Across town, Arya sits in her quiet house. the documents Ethan saw still scattered on the table. Her phone buzzes, a neighbor's urgent message about Mia. Her breath catches, guilt and dread colliding. She pictures Mia's bright eyes, her giggles over the piano, her small hand in hers. Then a spark of memory. Mia pointing at an old church during their baking day, calling it a castle with wide-eyed wonder. Arya doesn't hesitate. She grabs her coat and races into the storm, the church's steeple a beacon in the chaos. Inside the church, the air is cold. Stained glass windows casting faint colors across the pews. Mia huddles in a corner, shivering, her small frame dwarfed by the vast space. She's safe, but scared, her knees pulled to her chest. Arya bursts through the doors, her heart leaping at the sight. "Mia!" she calls, voice trembling with relief. She kneels, wrapping Mia in her arms, holding her tightly as the girl clings back. "I wanted you," Mia whispers, and Arya's eyes well up. "I'm here, sweetheart," she says, stroking Mia's damp hair. Moments later, Ethan crashes through the church doors, his face a mask of desperation. He spots Mia and drops to his knees, pulling her into a fierce embrace. "Oh God, Mia," he chokes, tears streaming as he buries his face in her hair. She's safe. She's here. His world is whole again. He looks up at Arya, standing a few steps away, her own eyes glistening. The anger that fueled him days ago crumbles. "I was wrong about you," he says, voice raw. "You're everything I didn't see." Arya nods, a tear slipping down her cheek. "I'm here now," she whispers, the words a promise. The storm rages outside, but inside the church, a sacred quiet settles. The stained glass glow bathes them in soft hues. Mia nestled between Ethan and Arya. Trust, once shattered, begins to mend, forged anew in this moment of crisis and care. The trio stands together not as strangers, but as something stronger, something like family. Ethan's modest cottage glows with warmth, its walls worn but brimming with life. The storm is a memory now, replaced by the soft clink of plates at a simple dinner. Mia sits between Ethan and Arya, her laughter bubbling as she sneaks an extra roll. A jigsaw puzzle sprawls across the table, half finished, pieces clicked together by small and steady hands. The room hums with a cozy, familial ease, the kind that stitches hearts closer. Mia yawns, her head drooping against Arya's shoulder, and Arya gently tucks a blanket around her. The girl's trust, once broken, is whole again, her soft breathing a quiet testament to their bond. By the flickering fireplace, Arya's voice is earnest, her eyes bright with purpose. "I've been thinking," she says, glancing at Ethan. "I want to start a foundation. Build homes for people who've lost everything. Real homes, not just houses." She pauses, her gaze steady. "You know what home means, Ethan. You built one for Mia with nothing but love. Help me build that for others." Ethan's breath catches, the offer stirring dreams he'd buried long ago. His engineering skills, his heart for helping. It's a chance to reclaim himself without losing Mia. "We'll build it together," he says, his voice thick with resolve, a spark of hope reigniting in his eyes. The fire crackles, casting golden light across their faces. Mia sleeps on the couch, her stuffed rabbit tucked under her arm. In the quiet, Ethan and Arya sit close, the air charged with unspoken truths. He reaches for her hand, his touch steady, and leans in. Their kiss is slow, heartfelt, a promise forged through storms and secrets. No words follow, just their smiles, soft and certain, sealing a future they'll face as one. The cottage, small and unassuming, feels vast with possibility. Its lived-in charm, a stark contrast to Arya's past of sterile wealth. Here, authenticity reigns. The night settles, the trio bound by love and purpose. Ethan, once a weary single dad, finds strength in partnership. Arya, once a runaway heiress, finds home in their hearts. Mia, their anchor, dreams peacefully, safe in the family they've forged. 1 year later, the Home of Hearts housing project bursts with life. Vibrant homes rise from once barren land, their windows glowing under a golden sky. Children chase each other through blooming gardens, their laughter mingling with the chatter of families gathered on porches. Banners flutter, proclaiming hope in bold colors. The community thrums with a shared dream, built brick by brick from kindness. At the opening ceremony, Arya steps to a podium, her voice steady but warm. "I thought success was power," she says, eyes sweeping the crowd. "But I was lost until a stranger fixed my roof and rebuilt my heart. This is success, purpose, love, home." The crowd cheers, and Ethan, now lead engineer, stands proudly nearby, his work etched into every rooftop. Later, Ethan pulls Arya aside near a blossoming tree. Mia bounces beside him, clutching a small box. He opens it, revealing a simple ring with a stone Mia chose, glinting in the sunlight. "You're our home," he says, voice thick with love. "Marry me." Arya's tears fall freely, her smile radiant. "Yes," she laughs, and Mia cheers. "She's our mommy now." The crowd erupts, their joy infectious. The trio cuts a ribbon on a new home, stepping inside hand in hand. The camera pans to laughing kids, thriving gardens, and a bright horizon. Ethan, Arya, and Mia show us that storms don't break us, they lead us home. Like, share, and tell us your favorite moment. Subscribe to Soul Stirring Stories for more tales of love, hope, and new beginnings.